Whew, okay. So, I just got back from watching Avengers Infinity War. I went to the 10:30 in the morning showing because I was that desperate to get in a seat watching the movie before any spoilers. So, that shows right off the bat how dedicated I was to this cause. This is going to be totally riffing. There's no script. I'm not reading off anything. I feel like if I want to deliver a genuine, impassioned review of this movie, then I need to be able to do it with just my thoughts to bear with. So, what did I think of Avengers Infinity War? Well, my first impression is pretty simple. Fucking amazing. Definitely the most intense MCU film in a long while. I would warrant us to say since the first Avengers. Genuinely haven't felt this moved or as emotionally invested or emotional in an MCU film or any superhero film in a very long time. So yeah, definitely intense. All of the actors in the film do fantastic performances. Tom Holland was amazing as Spider-Man. Robert Downey Jr. did an incredible job as Iron Man. I'm going to try and make this as spoiler-free as possible, so I'm not going to go over any specific plot threads besides, obviously, the established plot, which is Thanos, the bad guy, played by Josh Brolin, is trying to collect all the Infinity Stones, and the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and whoever are all trying to stop him. If I do end up saying any spoilers, I will cut those out in post, so don't worry about that. So first off, it seems a bit overwhelming because obviously the film is trying to juggle all of these massive plots all together. You've got the story on Earth, you've got the story in all the different planets, and you've got the story revolving around Thanos. So it all feels like initially it's going to be a bit too much to bear with, but I mean, in my opinion, I feel like they did a good job of stringing everything together in a way that made sense to me as a viewer. The action sequences were, of course, phenomenal. This is a film that's had some of the greatest minds in film and digital effects brought together. The Russo brothers do a fantastic job with their writing. Dialogue is actually really, really funny, as well as emotional when it has to be. It doesn't feel too dark in sections where people have been complaining that it's starting to resemble a lot more that DC kind of feel, but I didn't see it ever traipsing into edgy territory. It always seemed quite grounded to me. Thanos himself was amazing as well, like one of the most interesting Marvel villains there have been. He shows a lot of sides to him that aren't just necessarily, oh, I'm Space Hitler, I'm going to collect all the evil gems of the universe that'll destroy everything. Like, he does have a reason, albeit a bit flawed, as to why he's doing all of this, and even if you don't necessarily agree with him, you can at least kind of, I don't know, empathize with where he's coming from. The music was, again, amazing. I think they got Alan Silvestri to do this, the composer for the first two Avengers movies. So yeah, the music was a definite plus. Like, you know, it swelled when it needed to, and it was quiet and foreboding whenever there was like a bad or evil thing going on. I think the thing I want to talk about most is just how this film felt a lot more, I don't know, like there were more stakes. Like, there felt like everything had a sort of meaning. It wasn't just like Civil War, for example, where you've got two of these massive groups of superheroes fighting against each other for a belief. It feels kind of loose, like there's no point to it all. Like, you're just looking for an excuse to push all of these characters together, and I was thinking that before I went to watch the movie. Like, is this just going to be a cash cow so they can get all of these well-recognized characters? And especially with the success of Black Panther, you'd think that they'd be definitely capitalizing on that. But without being too spoilery, it didn't feel like they were focusing on any specific character. It feels like everyone kind of got their just desserts. It felt nice and spread out. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. This is quite a short review since it's all pretty much off the cuff. I'll probably do a spoiler review at some point, but just so if you're watching this and you're not sure whether or not you should go see it, definitely. I mean, if not just for the novelty that it's probably the biggest blockbuster event, I would warrant to say, in history, then do it just because it's a really, really good movie. Like, even though, you know, the plot slacks in places and there are a lot of holes in the narrative here and there, like, as a pure enjoyability factor, I've enjoyed it more than any previous MCU film since the Avengers, the first one. So, yeah, for the love of God, go and watch it. Yeah.